Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
I just can't take it anymore. I am so tired. I am so frustrated and burnt out. Why won't anyone listen to what I have to say? Yet I look on social media and everybody's smiling and having a great time. Meanwhile, I feel totally alone with my world rushing by. Guess what? Great news. You have a choice. You can change the dynamic by learning how to listen at an elevated level yourself through the power of listening educational courses. Can you imagine from where you are today to having a life overflowing with abundance? It's possible. Learn how to listen at an elevated level. You'll have deeper connections, better relationships, and more authentic conversations. Start today. Go to usaglobaltv.com, education, and learn how to listen. We have courses and children's books. Let's work together to learn how to listen. USA Global TV and Radio presents international award-winning author, speaker, educator, Diane Floyd-Boehm.
I want to thank everybody for joining us today on this special edition of the Corner Bookstore, USA Global TV. And we're talking with the co-host of the Corner Bookstore, Diane Floyd-Boehm today, who is herself an author of many books, not just children's books, but also books for adults. Diane, welcome to the Corner Bookstore.
Everyone should have their own library. Even children should start developing their library and know that what happens in a garden, it grows. And I want their library to grow. And never, ever get rid of a book, because what you might have enjoyed as a child reading and having lovely memories of your parents reading as you get older, you'll grow to cherish those books in another way. My specialty is to help people realize that we are all storytellers, and that if you have this yearning to get this story out, but you don't know how to get started, I want to be the person that you can come to, you can feel comfortable with. I'll learn your personality. We'll just go and have itty bitty baby steps, just like in my book, A Time to Fly. Before you know it, the young new author is ready to fly to and go to super professional coaches.
Diane's books are available now at dianefloydboehm.com. Charlie and the Tire Swing, How It Began. A Time to Fly. A Song of Peace. Rise, a Girl's Struggle for More. Harry the Camel. The Little Girl in the Moon. The Little Girl in the Moon, Moxie and Tycho Town. Moon League Adventures, The Serengeti.
And I'm saying, go for it.
Hello, welcome to USA Global TV and Radio. My name is Caroline Heward, and I'm known as the Harley Street Stress Expert. Today's show is Talking Heads, and I'm an expert presenter in today's topic, which is the dark side of feminine energies. And it's part of the Mind and Body Connection series. Let's begin. I'd like to start off with a quote from Elania Vincent, and she's known as the woman of the village, bushwoman. She is an entrepreneurial female speaker and does all sorts of incredible spiritual healings. And she's an American that's widely known. And she says, feminine power is silent, dark, mysterious, healing, nurturing. A woman can walk into a room and control it. She doesn't have to open her mouth if she knows where her power is. Elania Vincent. And she speaks a lot about this topic, about the woman's power. And she started off with nothing, knowing very little, from a bush town. And she became an inspirational singer, widely renowned because of her understanding of where it all begins. I'd like to look at what is dark feminine energy. And when we look at dark and light feminine energy, this is what it looks like. The light is very light, and the dark is very dark, very black in terms of the energy and the makeup. So I'd like to focus today on the dark feminine energy. The light is all the lightness and the compassion and the calmness, the harmonious sides of the feminine energy. And the dark feminine energy is the sensuality. It's the being able to come in and work from your space of your sexual energy. The sexual energy is a very, very powerful and intoxicating, almost powerfully intoxicating love drug. And you can almost hypnotize people to do your will by using the feminine dark energy. So what am I talking about? This is where somebody walks into a room and all the heads turn, including the women. It's men and women. And they command the state of being. They walk in and they're seen. And what happens is they're a magnet and people are drawn to them. They can literally stand in one place and people will come to them rather than they have to go out. So they become a magnet. And they use their creative energy, which is in the sexual chakra, to create outcomes. The second chakra is known as the sacral energy. And this energy is a very powerful energy to manifest and create things into your life. The person that is in the dark feminine energy and using this dark feminine energy is very aware that they're using their energy, and they're almost intoxicating to be with. They will almost command your attention without actually saying, I need your attention. They are intoxicating in the way that they speak to you, in the way that they enact in their everyday life. Nothing is challenging for them because they know how to communicate, they know how to win people on side, and they know what you need. They are using their sexual energy to create results. And when they're in this feminine dark energy, This is powerful in terms of business. So they are not trying to win you over. They literally win you over. They're the ones that will walk in and command space. And they command your attention, your time. And they not only command it without asking for it, they get it. The sexual energy, which resides in the second chakra, is a highly transmutable energy which turns thought into things. So you have to be careful what you're thinking about. And this is where when people are in their dark feminine energy, they can be almost the adulteress. They will be the temptress. They will be the one that really can wind you round their little finger without you even realizing it. So this dark energy on the darkest side of the energy can actually become very manipulative. It can be ruling your emotions. They will be using the emotions to gain what they want if they're in the darker side of that dark energy. The good part of the feminine dark energy is the fact that they have high acuity with their sensual prowess and their sensuality in terms of being using what they really have to get what they desire, what they need. Do you know people like that? That just walk into the room and they just get your attention? They have what might be called charisma, charm. They will be the ones that will just get things done. So how do you tap into your dark feminine energy? Because wouldn't we all love a bit of this, being able to command, being able to get stuff done without literally having to fight tooth and nail to get yourself heard and what you want done through other people? Nature. So if you step into nature, if you step into woods, take a walk around the gardens, take a walk in a park, be amongst trees, be among the sea, water, sand. So taking a walk in nature is highly adventurous for the dark feminine energy. This is where you naturally step straight into the dark feminine energy, being connected to Mother Earth, the ground. Taking a walk barefoot will move you into this state of dark feminine energy. It also relates to the elements of the planet. So we have air, we have earth, we have earth, air, we have all the elements that are required for us to move through. So fire is part of the solar plexus, and fire will actually transmute and create everything that you're thinking about into reality. So the dark feminine energy thinks about what they want, they decide what they want, and then they tap into the elements of our planet. And when you connect with Mother Earth and the fire, and when you connect with the air and the water, water is the element of the sexual chakra, which creates flow and movement towards things that you want to do. And when you connect with those elements, you're in your body. And the dark feminine energy is very much in her body, very much in the place of getting stuff done. And they will have a voice that people will listen to. They will have a voice that people will want to do things for. And they will be almost magnetizing people to them without even trying. One of the big things about the dark feminine energy is to move into the place of self-love, self-honoring, and self-worth. Many of us are in this place of not loving ourselves, not honoring ourselves for what we truly need versus what we decide, we think we need, what other people tell us that we need. And actually, self-love is what we know we need. And it can be as simple as taking a longer time in the shower. It can be as simple as having doing your hair night in, or a home pedicure. It can be as simple as going through your toiletries, your cosmetics, your beauty regime. I didn't really, when I was much younger, understand when people said to me, they can't come out tonight because they're doing their hair. And I just thought, well, why do you need all night to do your hair? Now I get it. Now I do take all night sometimes to do my hair. And now I do take all night to have a beauty regime so that the next day, then I am ready. And this is because I started to get about the self-love, self-pampering. And the self-love is honoring yourself through everything that you do and everything that you say. Self-love isn't just about the pampering. It's about what you say to yourself. It's the inner critic of giving yourself total honoring conversation. We all have that voice in the back of our heads that says, you're not good enough for this, you're not good enough for that, and you can't do this, and who are you kidding? That's the inner critic, or the mind monkey, the monkey mind. But the dark feminine energy doesn't have it, because they're empowered with self-love. And when you're empowered with self-love, you are coming from the heart space. And when you are in the heart space, in the heart chakra, you are full of joy, gratitude, and compassion. And when you move into the heart space, something quite magical happens in terms of what you experience yourself in life and what others experience. Esoteric brings up all sorts of connotations. But here today, I want to talk about esoteric in terms of healing, in terms of looking at things that interest you. Like maybe for some people, it might be horoscopes. It might be spells in terms of creating, manifesting what you want, deciding what you want and creating, manifesting what you desire in your life. It could be that you work with natural remedies, herbs and remedies, which is how I landed up getting into it, because I worked for an organization that was a health food company, and I got very, very interested in how to heal the body in a natural way. And I've been like that for more than half of my life. And that's because it interested me how the body operates and what it needs, rather than using a chemical to create a reaction. And the esoteric is looking at Mother Earth. It's looking at our plants. It's looking at nature. When I was a child and I would run along the brook and play, where we shouldn't be playing, and generally get very dirty and mucky, there was what we called stingers. I think they're known as nettles. And next to them, there was these big leaves called dock leaves. And we knew as children to pick the dock leaves if we got stung and to rub them on our skins so that it took the sting away. That's how Mother Nature operates. Now, that was incredible as a child to have that experience, because in that experience of just reaching for the dock leaf, that's what it was called. I don't know whether it has another name, but we called it the dock leaf, and we would just rub it and the sting would be gone. But this is natural, and to some intents and purposes could be deemed as esoteric. So esoteric is looking at nature's way, looking at runes, looking at tarot cards, looking at different energy cards. So it's just having an interest in exploring other things that are not so common in our everyday. And the other way to step into your feminine energy is to heal. We all have wounds. We can't go through life without stuff not happening. And it's always about not what happened, actually how we responded and reacted, the meaning that we gave what happened. And that's not wrong or right. That simply is. What was the meaning? What was your reaction and your response? And so the healing, if we don't heal when we're young, and most of us don't because we don't know how or what to do, this is the healing journey of the dark feminine energy. Because when we move through that healing journey, all sorts of things become open to us that weren't there before because they would have been blocked off. And certainly when there are challenges for the feminine energy, the sexual energy is blocked. And so when you go through a healing journey, the sensual energy, the sexual energy from the second chakra will become alive and become very, very transmutable in terms of what you can create with it. To have an open heart. And this is not about opening the physical heart in the body. This is to, in your communication, in your approach, in the way that you're speaking to yourself, to others, and to everything around you. You know, for me, I have a lot of plants, so I'm speaking to my plants, you know, and I'm saying, oh, you need watering, you know, I forgot to water you. And it's just having that connection and communication with everything and everyone around you. You can't control everyone around you, but you can send off and you can come from your heart space so that you're able to emanate that to them and change the way that they feel. Yesterday, I had a client and he'd had a very, very stressful time. And he had some challenges in parking up. And one of the main reasons for that is my road is blocked off, and I didn't actually appreciate that it was. That's caused all sorts of challenges. But when he got here, I moved him from a place of feeling stressed and anxious to a place of laughter. And so before we stepped into his paid session, he was already much lighter. And there's only one way I could have done that, by reaching him from my open heart to his. So being open means that we step into a place of our joyousness, our laughter. It's for us to step into a place of our gratefulness, our gratitude, and to give thanks each time something wonderful happens. When you're coming from an open heart, there will be challenges. And the main challenge of coming from an open heart is grief. When we are suffering in a state of loss or grief, the heart shuts down and it becomes impenetrable. And it's not just about somebody physically dying. It can also be the breakup of a relationship, the breakdown of a friendship, communication that's broken down, a work situation that's broken down that you loved. So it can come from all sensory experiences of your experiences in life. It's not just about somebody physically dying. It can be a career. It can be a lifestyle that's changed. It can be, for young people, a school or a college move and a change. So being in an open heart means that we naturally shut it down when problems hit us, when we can't handle things. because it's a protection mechanism. And when our heart shuts down, we can't connect to our dark energy. And the way to move into your heart and to be open for other people to receive you in that joyous way is to move into a place of trust and to allow yourself, your emotions, to feel it's okay to express your emotions, whatever they may be, whether they're sadness, whether they're anger, to actually allow. It's a permission thing. And when you allow whatever comes up to openly express through your throat chakra and your heart chakra, something very powerful happens to you as a human being. You become more accessible to yourself and others. Sounds simple, doesn't it? You would be surprised how many people come from a closed heart. How can you recognize this? They will be thinking their way through everything, talking their way through, conversing their way through things, experiences, life. You will know because they will be talking through it. When somebody's feeling, when somebody's in that expression of feeling, there is no words like, I understand that. If somebody is saying, that makes sense, or I understand where you're coming from, they are mentally listening to you. When somebody's using the sensory words like, I like the sound of that, that sounds great, that feels great, where you're coming from feels amazing, I see what you're saying. When somebody is expressing their openness to your communication, they go into a sensory experience of expressing how they are receiving your communication. But if they're coming back with, I understand what you're talking about, I just need to deal with this, or that makes sense, they are analyzing from a mental space of being. And this is a very difficult place for you to connect to. It's not easy to connect to somebody who's constantly analysing and thinking their way through what you're saying. Because while they're thinking and trying to work it out, they're not open. If your heart is open and you are coming from a sensory space of beingness, you then open the other person into that same space of beingness. And it's very intoxicating. It's very powerful. And you can create magic with your open heart. You can create very powerful experiences, not only for yourself, but others around you. Other people will question, they will ask you, well, how did you manage to do that? What did you do to make that happen in that record speed? Well, that's a miracle that you got it done in that space of time, especially with all the people that you had to speak to. This is because one open heart opens whoever you are connected to or being in a connection with. And the beauty of that is life happens very, very quickly for anyone operating from an open heart. And it is intoxicating. You will find people will do things for you because they feel you. And this is what the dark energy is about. It's about they feel you and they're not used to feeling people. They are used to talking from the mind and hearing people in that conversation of the mind, the factual conversation. If you can make them laugh, you have them in the palm of your hand. And if you can make them feel different by having your heart open, it is a very powerful place for you and the other person to be. And the word I keep coming back to, it is intoxicating. From either whether you're a man or a woman, it doesn't matter. You will find people bend over backwards to do things for you because they feel you. And this is the difference. The open heart means that they're connected to you because they feel your joyousness, your compassion, your gratitude, your love of life, and you will get them on board. One of the other attributes for the dark feminine energy is that it's connected to alchemy. Magic is created, and they tap in to this magical alchemy. Now, in alchemy, we have all sorts of things that manifest into different things. So fire, water, air, earth, the elements, the planets, metals. We can change, we can liquidize. Gold can be liquid and it can turn into a solid. Copper is the same. And so when you are in your dark feminine energy, the dark feminine energy becomes very much the alchemist's energy. And this is what I've been talking about, that they create magical experiences and people wonder. They will literally be saying, how did you do that? You know, there was a pile of paper, there was a pile of notes, and suddenly it's become a book. How did that happen? And it's because the dark feminine energy knows how to alchemize things to create incredible experiences for everything and everyone around them, including themselves. It's powerful in the corporate world, and you will see the alchemist, you will see the dark feminine energy swooning around, swishing around, getting things done, but not being in the feminine, that very light feminine energy, actually being in the getting things done and still being feminine. So you don't have to go and step into your masculine energy. It's the dark side of the feminine energy. And we are alchemists when we step into that dark side of the feminine energy. So how does it show up? It shows up where they have an interest in full moons and new moons and eclipses and equinoxes, because they have an understanding on some level, even though they may not have trained. They may have trained, but they may not have trained, but they will have people around them that have an understanding of those things. And they tap into those experiences, full moons, new moons, equinoxes, because they know there is significance and magic around those times. They have an understanding that everything is connected, and they use those connections of nature, of the elements, of planets, of the metals to create powerful experiences, not only for themselves, for their families, their partners, their intimate partners, their friendships, for anyone that's connected with them. And they will leave an air of people feeling good around them. Even if there is a problem, and if a person is in stress, or even if there is a difficulty and a situation that's almost untenable to handle in the timescale, magic happens. Because the dark feminine energy makes it happen. They understand how to weave through the troubled times. They weave all the way through because they're working with the elements and making it work. How does forgiveness set you free? You know, you can't get to any age and not have an experience of being betrayed or somebody trespassing against you. You can't get through life without something happening to you through somebody else. And then you walk around saying, well, I can't forgive you for what you did because you wronged me. And if we step through our life in this unforgiveness, if we step through in our life by saying, you did this to me and I will never forgive you, you hurt me and I'm going to punish you. When you step into that space of being, you will never be free, ever. You will suffer even more, even though you're not still in that situation. And this is because when you forgive, it's not for the other person. You forgive for yourself, for your inner peace is why you forgive. So you're not forgiving them for what they did. You're forgiving yourself for being in that situation and how you handled it. And to hold the hot coal of anger and justification of they made you wrong, they did you wrong, never frees you. But when you forgive, you actually forgive yourself. And you move your state of being into a full state of inner peace, calm, humility, and harmony. You move your state of being into a place of purity. And you move your state of being into a place that creates a very deep state of inner peace, which transcends you and moves out into your environment, your family, your friends, your communities, and anyone that you have connection with will feel this openness. And this is one of the traits of the dark feminine energies, because they will have gone through traumas and challenges, because we all do, that they have done what is deemed to be work on their shadow. The dark feminine energy is not afraid of meeting and working with their shadow and healing the trauma that has caused them to shut down. And when you forgive, you open your heart and you open the way for you to have freedom. So what's Samhain got to do with dark feminine energies? Samhain is another expression and another name for Halloween. So if you think about Halloween, you know, the children are trick or treating. So it's the opposite, the nice and the not so nice. Now, Samhain is the time where it is the shortest time between night and day, dark and light. It's a very thin veil between death and rebirth. And the person that is working with the dark feminine energies has an understanding of this. This is the time, Halloween, Samhain, where we can transcend trauma. It is a beautiful time to go into meditation and to celebrate our ancestors, our family before us. It is a wonderful time to celebrate our beingness for who we are right now because of where we've come from. This is where we connect to Mother Earth And this is where we can transmute and create powerful new beginnings. So Samhain has a much bigger purpose than pumpkins and trick-or-treating. This is the very nature of the dark feminine energy and how we can use that place of darkness in rebirthing. That's the death of what's going and leaving you and the rebirth of what you want to bring into your life. It's a very powerful time. And I invite you to use Samhain blessings to create what you want to create in your life. Marianne Williamson said, "Sex is not the ultimate high, but the ultimate high hangs out around sex. The ultimate high is the dance with another person, played so deep down and with such abandon that glee returns to grown-ups. This is the abandonment, and this is the transmutable energy that has high levels of creation." So the sexual energy, that's the second chakra in the sacral energy, this is the powerful energy that can create such incredible things in your life. And for a further quote by Marianne Woodman, "The light of the sacred prostitute penetrates to the heart of this darkness. She is consecrated priestess in the temple, spiritually receptive to the feminine power, flowing through her from the goddess and at the same time joyously aware of the beauty and passion in her human body." Marianne Woodman. This is the woman using her sexual energy to create powerful experiences for herself and everyone around her. Why wouldn't you want to step into the dark side of the feminine energy? I invite you to start the journey. Thank you for your interest. Thank you for your attention. Please subscribe to USA Global TV and Radio. You can find all of our Talking Heads episodes under the playlist Talking Heads for this year, 2023, and for last year, 2022. You'll find my personal Talking Heads episodes under Caroline Heward, my name, 2022, and Caroline Heward, 2023. I explore many topics that cause our stress. This is about how the mind and body connects. Offer a free consultation. I invite you to approach me and email me on nomorestress@live.co.uk if I can help you with any manner of your symptoms of stress, or call on +44 if you're international, 0 if you're local, 7523 120 189. I really do invite you to reach out. This is just scratching the surface. There is so much more.